The perfect smoothie, it has to have that right texture. It has to have that right sweetness. It's more than putting ice and fruit in a blender and pressing a button. Today we sit down with the owners of World Juice Bar as they tell us how they went from serving outside of elementary schools to owning their own shop. We got the juice now. This is Brand Bosses.
Welcome. This is another episode of Brand Bosses. We're here for the bosses, and today we have two special guests. We have David and Denise Sweet, the owners of World Juice Bar. How you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
We happy to be here too. For the people who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, we're married. We're a working couple, and this is our shop. We are the owners. David has a background going from entertainment to construction to AV. What else, babe? Audio visual. And my background is primarily IT. But here at the Juice Bar, we've had this food-based business for about 20 years now.
20 years?
Yeah, and at this location, we've been here for 5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. What galvanized you guys to start World's Juice Bar?
I would say when we first got into the concept of juicing, like that part of it, we were living with our in-laws and my father-in-law. He's very holistic. He loves to juice. He's into Eastern medicine. He is in his 90s now. But seeing him in the kitchen, cutting up fruits and vegetables and brewing Chinese teas was very intriguing to us. But at the same time, we kind of started out getting into the food business through festivals and fairs.
Yes.
So that's how we started. And to be honest, a lot of us, our first jobs are in food service. David worked at Pizza Hut. My first job was at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. You never forget those experiences. But when we started working the festivals, we came together as a family. And we did the Black Arts Festival, we did Juneteenth, we did Grand Prix, and then we started doing a lot of cultural festivals. Okay. So our name, the World Juice Bar, it kind of manifested into something that we didn't even know where it was going to be. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys started out, you were at your in-laws?
His parents' house.
You were at his parents' house, and you guys were just studying and everything like that. And you guys just, how did the transition go from being in the house to taking it into the community to these festivals?
Well, when we were living with our in-laws literally just temporarily, right? And just watching, my father-in-law in the kitchen, how he was, working the magic with the juices. Yeah. But when we moved into our new house, literally we were in the kitchen. We came up with the idea that we wanted to start selling food. And so one of the first events we did was a school, an elementary school.
Okay.
And if you can get to the kids and if they can sign off on it, I think it's a go.
Yeah.
So at the time, our son, he was in the 5th grade.
Okay.
And it was a elementary school in Mount Bello, Greenwood Elementary School, brand new school.
I think I might have had a snack.
Right.
I might have had a little juice that day.
We basically set up a smoothie stand there, and the kids were just looking at us like, what are these guys doing? We had our blenders out there. We bought the equipment. Everything was portable at the time, and then from there we went to Juneteenth. And then we went to the People's Fair. So there was a progression, we just started getting bigger and bigger. And then next thing you know, we were doing, 20 festivals a year, weathering the storms, getting better at serving a lot of customers at one time. And we only sold 3 flavors at the time, So if anybody knows us from back in the day, it was pina colada, strawberry, and triple berry. That was our main flavors. Now at the juice bar we sell up to 100 different varieties of drinks.
Wow. So from 3 flavors to 100 plus.
Right.
What went into that, going from the 3 flavors to 100 different flavors? I know some studying, some research. Like, what went into that?
I'll let David explain that. He's our mixologist.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just noticed in different cultures they love different flavors, and there are certain flavors like they call hibiscus. It's like they call it Jamaica, so that's like a Caribbean or like a Latin type of drink, and we added that to the menu. We added, of course, like pina colada. That's sort of an island thing too. She has an island family, and my family's Creole, so we're used to that kind of stuff. So we just started kind of pulling from different parts and adding it to the menu. And because we also have what is called bubble tea in this in our menu, there are tons of flavors that go with that. So we added probably another 10 flavors just based on that particular style of drink. So that's kind of how we got there. So.
You were talking about going from starting out to where you are now, 20 plus years of this business. What are some of the struggles that you guys seen and had to overcome?
I guess trying to figure out, where we're really gonna be, and I believe in not necessarily chance happenings, but the reason why we got to the store is from speaking life. I mean, we used to ride around the neighborhood. We would see open retail spaces. We would take pictures. We would get out the car. We would look things up. So we were constantly dreaming and in motion. And it was because I went to a store one day and I told somebody that we're going to have a store. They said, "Oh, you need to meet this person." And we were in our space in 30 days. So as far as like planning things out, I think we have been blessed because we didn't really have to plan like the average person. And it came really fast. And even as far as we've gotten like some really big contracts that were not expected. So that planning piece of the business, sometimes people can take it too far where you can plan, but you also need to plan for the unexpected.
Exactly.
Right? So, because if you put it out there that you want it, it's going to come and it's going to be a flood. So just be ready and be prepared. Now, of course, we couldn't take all the contracts that we wanted to, but what I'm just trying to explain is that the academic part of being a business is there.
Yes.
It's not going to go away. But once you put it out there that you want something, it's going to be a flood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. You talked about the academic part of business and everything like that. I just want to highlight you both and your work ethic. And I want you to talk about the importance of your work ethic, especially when you're owning a business and bosses like you both, because we come in here, I see you have to do almost everything, and it's a lot that goes into it. Can you talk about your work ethic?
Yeah, it does take quite a bit of digging deep and not giving up on the ultimate goal. When we got here, the space was pretty blank, but I had a vision, and because of what the field I was in, is pretty natural progression for me to throw up a lot of electronics and things like that, because I know that people nowadays are using digital media to show their menus and whatever entertainment vehicles they need. They actually add that to the space. So I decided to do that and just kind of build everything around that and make this a fun and inviting place when you come in. Make it fun for people to kind of get excited by the music that's in here, everything else. As far as the ethic, it's constantly checking everything and making sure that all supplies are filled, all recipes are known by all of our employees. Just checking off the list every single day and not kind of resting on it, because if you do that, you could turn around and you're not in control of your store at all. So you have to constantly stay on it and stay in kind of keep these really good flowing relationships with our staff.
Yes.
And just to allow this thing to work out as a more of a a holistic kind of experience between us all.
It is.
Yeah.
And you said something, off camera before we started, you were giving me some game. And you said something that I really thought was important. When people have regular jobs and they're working for somebody, they can go home and detach. But you both being bosses and owners, you can't just go home and relax. You got to plan for the next day, and the next move. And I thought that was important. So
Can I add to what he said as far as work ethic itself? You just have to be at a whole different level, right? Even on a job, there's people who don't pull their weight. There's people that do pull their weight. You still get a check, every 2 weeks. With us, we have to make sure that we're at a certain level, period. Especially being in food service. With this day and time, customers expect different level of service.
Yes.
We have review systems.
Yes.
We have incentives to get people into the store. So we're constantly working for the customer. And I used to tell our customers at the Black Arts Festival this. And for any customers out there that attend any community type of event, sometimes I feel like we take things for granted. We're there. It's a labor of love. And so if there's a comparison about products and pricing, consumers are getting a better understanding of what their dollar's worth. So I always tell the customers, even if we get complaints, we work hard for our money, and we know you do too.
Yes.
There's no reason for us to take advantage of you.
Yes.
So if you don't get what you want, make sure you let us know.
Exactly.
Because we're here for a reason.
Yes.
It's more than a paycheck.
Yes.
It's more than the facade of having a business.
Yes.
It's about servicing our customers.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, that's what we're all about.
Yes, I agree, and you both are truly passionate. Provide great customer service, and it leads me into my next question, because with the great customer service and experience that you provide, where did that come from? Because you're not only serving people who are local, you're serving people from all across the world. People watching this, I want y'all to know that they truly embody the name of Royal Juice Bar. You got people from all across different countries, different cultures. Like, how is that? Like, how does that feel to have so many different people coming in and you servicing so many different people from across the globe?
Oh, I remember when we first started, my husband and I, we were the only ones that worked here. And people would, I don't want to say challenge us, but they would give recommendations. And some people would say, you know what, I used to live in Thailand. You guys got it right. We love your Thai tea. Or, I used to live there, and this recipe was a little bit different there. Can you make it a certain way?
Yes.
And it was not about us being defensive or feeling like we didn't get it right. It's just that because we consider ourselves kind of like a bar too. When you go to a bar, it's a little bit more personal, right?
Right.
So we took a lot of those comments, and that's what we see on the menu. And the thing about our store that's different from the other big name juice bars or boba tea shops is it's customized here.
Yes.
It's not cookie cutter because we have some health issues, but you know what? If you need a drink that's less sugar, if you need coconut milk because you can't have dairy milk, that's what we're about.
Yes.
So when you talk about customer service, it's not about just slapping it in the bottle and just throwing out mass production. And we can do that. But even when we do the catering events, our customers say, you know what? We want to be healthy this time. We want a little bit more spinach and greens.
Yes.
Or we have some folks that are lactose intolerant. So that's really, I think, the basis of our customer service is the fact that we can customize and give you the type of drink that you want.
Yes. How does it feel to just be in your own area, your own shop?
Well, for me, it just, even as much work as it takes to run this store, I couldn't compare it to me working in the corporate field. When I was working in the corporate world, it was just, you never felt like you had a stake in what you were doing.
Right.
You were just there to to generate the paycheck, do the one task or whatever, however many tasks you have, and just return home. But you never felt like you had a stake in it. You didn't feel like you were developed. You could have actually been the brains behind the operation, but you don't get the credit for it. So it's sometimes it's not as what's the word? It's not gratifying. But this, knowing that we built this from what it is to what it is now, is gratifying. That you can watch your labor and the rewards of your labor.
Yes, definitely. I have to ask, was there any naysayers or any doubters along the way?
Oh yeah. I would say the festival business is hard. I always tell my husband we probably could have had a reality show.
Yeah.
It was very difficult, and we've also been involved with the organizing the festivals as well. We've had some great relationships, but food service can be a dirty business.
Yeah.
Being in business can be a dirty business.
Yeah.
And you have to have tough skin. The longevity of a restaurant, right? A lot of restaurants close in 5 years.
Yeah.
Even in the festival scene, you see some families start up, they do 1 or 2 festivals, they're done, right? But with us, we were always able to refine, bring new people in and out, change our menu. Even getting into the boba tea game, we were doing this 20 years ago. It wasn't hot.
It wasn't popular.
But we kept the machines.
Yeah.
When the time was right, we were able to dust everything out and off, and then come back, and revamp.
Exactly.
Basically. But as far as that scene, you gotta have tough skin. You can't come in there, oh, I'm selling my item. No. There's a lot of stories we could tell.
We've had other businesses take our concept and use it for themselves.
And we've had festivals also. Especially when you're looking at in the beverage concessions business, a lot of festivals make their money off of drinks. And whether it's lemonade, pops, or soda, I mean, we've been at huge arenas. And if there was a a market for one brand of water. We've had situations where they would take our water from us because it wasn't the right brand. So there's a lot of detail that can come along with this, as far as like competition and what you can sell, what you can't sell. And, we've had to be on that side as well, trying to manage it. And it's not easy. Because if you don't present that to your vendors, people spend money, and then you tell them you can't sell it, they lose out. So the same thing can happen when you, move into your retail space. I guess I tell people it's like Monopoly. Okay, when you play Monopoly, the game is to get real estate. Right, and to get your cash flow. Okay, but the average business person, they don't understand the concept of the brick and mortar, and paying rent and taxes and payroll. It is a big production. So when you talk about naysayers, I would say at this point now, we're kind of looking at more competition type things, and it can be healthy. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
But we're in a pandemic, so sometimes it can get a little awkward, because people are trying to go after the same prompts. But at the same time, if you place yourself in a really good location, we can share. We can share space, and we can feed off of each other. So you gotta have some thick skin. You can't take stuff personally, but at the same time, you can't be Pollyanna about things like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Everything has a purpose, because at the end of the day, you're in it to make money. This is not a hobby.
Well, I will add to that though. Ultimately, it's about us as a business. The quality of our products and our service stands out. So we don't have to have this amazingly, incredibly brand new store that has all the bells and whistles. It's really about the customer experience. So if the customers are coming in and our employees are treating them great and they're giving them great products, well, that's selling the product. That's way more important than the name brand any day. So we go with that. We figure that carries more weight than any kind of brand you can put out there. Because I've gone to places where the store looked great, everything looked great, but the customer service was horrible.
Yeah.
And I walked away not ever wanting to go back to the store. But we have so many return customers here, it's pretty insane. I can imagine at least 20% of our customers are probably return customers.
Yeah, you guys do an amazing job.
So that's what we try to do.
Amazing at customer service. I'm gonna ask y'all 2 rapid fire questions, okay? So just as fast as you can, okay? So, it's personal favorite world juice bar drinks.
Pina colada.
Oh man.
Thai tea.
Thai tea,
Yeah, Thai tea, number one.
For sure. And then my next question. Where do you see yourself, where do you see World Juice Bar in the future?
Well, one of our business models is to be in store, so we're inside of the H-Mart, and so Walmart's, to get into real estate that's already existing, so we can cut down our expenses and get to the people where they are. But then also we're working on a brand of packaged products. So if you want to take us on the go, you can, right? If you need some protein, if you need some extra chia, maybe we can get into some other green products down the line, teas. So the point is that, we need to get on the shelves as opposed to just staying in the retail environment, because things are changing, right? We're still in this pandemic, but we got to keep different lines of business going as well. Take advantage of the Amazons and the online deliveries and that type of thing.
Amazing. This has been another episode of Brand Bosses. We thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Bringing us into your shop, showing us around, letting us try your amazing smoothies. And we're just thankful to have you on the show, and we're thankful for what you do, and you're really setting the example. So appreciate you. And that's been another episode of Brand Bosses. We here. This is for the bosses. We out.
Are you a business owner that would like to be featured on an episode of Brand Bosses? Send a detailed email to victuals19@gmail.com. Production fees do apply if selected.